All right, Eli. Do you drink coffee? Are you like a coffee person?
I drink too much coffee.
You do?
Way
What do
too
you
much.
usually drink?
Well, now that it's like getting cold, I really like love the peppermint stuff.
Okay.
So,
You're a
like-
seasonal guy?
Yeah, I'm a
So
seasonal
did
guy.
you get like the pumpkin stuff in the fall? Or?
No, I hate pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
The only pumpkin thing I like is pumpkin pie. That's it.
I like pumpkin pie.
I'll
Is that
eat
your
that
like
every
fall pie if you're gonna go to a pie or?
That's my pie any time, any
Anytime.
season,
Always eat
any
pumpkin
day. I went to a grocery store once in like April, and I got
And
like
you got a pumpkin pie?
two things in pumpkin
That's
pie.
hilarious.
Just because it was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna make you said you wanted a cappuccino, right?
Cappuccino. Yeah.
Cappuccino. So I'll make that. That's my favorite drink. Like if I ever go to a coffee shop, that's what I'm getting to like test if they're actually good at making coffee. I feel like. So don't judge me based on my cappuccino because it's not gonna be good. Personally, it might be okay. It'll be okay.
All right.
But it won't be good. All right. Cool. So coffee talk. You said you've watched a few of these videos. So the whole point of this video is kind of just like talking about the ways that God's moving in your life, the way that God's moving in people around you, even in the community around you. So you got baptized. Was it Easter last year?
Easter this year. Yeah.
This past year.
This
so Easter
past Easter, yeah.
2023.
This year, 2024. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got confused on that.
I feel like after COVID, I
it
just
feels like
lose
it's
track
been a
of all the
long
years.
time,
Yeah.
So you got baptized Easter 2024, and we've talked about your testimony a few times, right? So maybe let's just focus on like since baptism. We can talk about like how things have changed. Let's start there. How have things changed since baptism as a whole?
Since baptism, I feel like I really like broken out of my shell. There's still things I can like work on, especially like just my confidence too in speaking. Large groups, small groups. Like I feel like before I got baptized, like I really refrained about talking about God or anything like God related, just because I feel like I wasn't there with my knowledge. I feel like anything I was speaking of was going to be wrong. I didn't want to feel like a heretic, I guess, like blasphemer or anything like that. Definitely wasn't intentional, but I see it more now when like I try to have one-on-one conversations in small groups and big groups, whatever. I try to voice out my experience at all. Try to teach at all because, you know, if that was me, like looking at myself, I know where I'm at right now would definitely be like doing my best to like teach my younger self.
So what are some ways, like I guess, for me, anytime I've been like not confident, it's because I don't know a lot about. Would you say that's how it was for you?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like, what are some ways that you've been consuming knowledge or like growing that wisdom so that you can share? Because obviously that's something you feel called to share, to teach, to guide. So what has been your process of like gathering information?
I feel like right now in my season, I feel like I'm cramming too much info. Like a big test is tomorrow in high school, and I haven't studied this whole time, so I'm just like trying to throw in as much as possible, which definitely isn't the best approach I've been doing, because so many topics, so many books, so many verses all at once. Kind of really hard for me to like really retain that and then to like take that on and teach that on to others. But what I'm doing right now is definitely trying to take my time, trying to make sure that like I'm not turning it into a study habit, because if I do that, it's going to be like a burnout on in my brain. So I want to get back to that relationship aspect. Seek God with my heart, not just only my brain, because that's gonna be tiring. So studying each book at a time. Finish Galatians. I'm like halfway through Colossians right now, and then I'm gonna be moving on to Ephesians, and just praying and see where the Holy Spirit takes me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's a failing mindset that John Mark Comer talks about in his book, Practicing the Way. We went through his book at Young Adults, actually.
Yep.
He talks about like some failing mindsets, and one of those is like actually reading the Bible too much or knowing the Bible too much. So I think that you spoke to that because like if you're just obsessed with knowledge, it's hard to like let that seep down into your heart. Has there been a practice for you that's been good? Like, are you meditating, or like what's helped you slow down and like really consume what you're reading?
Definitely meditating. I try my best to meditate every morning when I wake up, meditate every night. Helps me like ease of mind, how I go into the day, and just ease of mind, how I decompress from the day, get ready for the next one. Every time when I'm waking up to like a verse that sits with me is, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." So I try to my best to meditate on that every morning. Take that into any. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Almost gotta. Yeah. So this is the day the Lord has made. I'll rejoice and be glad in it. So
Yeah, so I try to apply that for every situation I'm going into, especially my job right now. There's a lot of like, I don't want to say a lot, but there's conflict at times. There's heated people at times. Sometimes I got to be like the de-escalator. Sometimes they're heated at me. Sometimes I'm heated at other people. But I really try to meditate on that verse throughout the day. Try to be in that mindset of Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. Good. That's cool. So like that's a lot about like what God's been doing personally for you. What about like externally? Like, so Pastor Dave always does this thing where he says we're faced in, but we got to work on this upward relationship and these outward relationships. And so like you've talked about this upward relationship. What about your outward relationships? What are some things you're doing?
Trying my best to serve a lot. I feel like no matter where, no matter when I'm at the church, I feel like there's always something going on or some way to serve. I was just talking to Pastor Harry the other Sunday too when they were having youth in the village, and that just made me realize that like I feel like I've served in like a lot of fields except for that one, where I feel like that one could be like most beneficial for me to like slow down, just embrace what like a younger generation is going into, their mindset and all that. But just making sure my cup is full first before I can pour out onto others as best I can, especially with my actions. So that's where I'm at right now, just making sure my actions are a reflection of where my heart's at.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like, yeah, obviously I've seen you like getting so plugged in and serving so much over the last like 6 months or so. Do you ever get like tired? Because I feel like I see you in like 4 different ministries on Sunday mornings. Like today you were ushering, other times you've done the baptism team, you've done all these different things. Do you get like tired?
I feel like I get tired when I'm not doing those things. Like
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like there is 2 different worlds. So like there's the church world, and then like when I had to go to like my other relationships, like my family, friends, work especially, and I feel like I get burned out in that world so easily now that I feel like so much refreshment when I come into this world.
That's
So
awesome.
I tried my best Saturday to get as much rest as possible, so then my actions can like my cup can overflow, and then you can see like it's real evident when I come into church Sundays that like I try my best to serve. Like I feel like that's the least I could do.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible. Do you feel like as you've served, as you've gotten more connected in community, you're a big part of young adults group and stuff, do you feel like that has helped you in your personal walk with God too, right? So you serve because of your personal walk with God, but also do you feel like your service helps your personal walk? Does that make sense?
That's a good question. Yeah. I try my best to be like as much outspoken or reaching as possible. Try to go out to lunch for now, every now and then. I just went out to lunch with Kyle, so like picking his brain a little bit, having him pick my brain a little bit. It's just like it's a great way to like see where other people are at in their walk, and then just like play like a game of like ping pong, just bouncing off each other, like spitting ideas out and helping see things through a different lens. So I feel like even though like even at work when I talk to other Christians at work, even though they're like baby Christians and like I see myself in them, like they can always teach me something too.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's something we miss. Like the early church, it says that they were in Acts 2:42 through 47. There's a real nice passage about how they're together and they have everything in common. And I think that's a part that we kind of miss because we have this culture that like, oh, we go to church Sunday mornings, and then it's 167 hours until we come back to church the next week. And group life helps with that, but I think serving kind of takes it to another level as well, because you get more of those opportunities to like learn about the people, learn what they've been going through, learn what brought them to serve, and to give so much to God. And I think that's cool. Well, Eli, thank you for your like generosity and your Thank you for the way that you've been giving of your resources, your time over the last 6 months or so. I have a feeling that's one way that God's made you, that you always want to give and you always want to put others first. And I know it's not always easy or something you like to do, but you're helping people out. And I think it's so cool when we see God has gifted you, God has called you, and He's given you these places that you can serve, that you can get closer to Him and the people that love Him too. So, anything else you want to share about your calling, about where God's moving in your life? Or anything
I feel like that really like raises like a thought or like a season I'm also in right now with God. I feel like in the past too, like we often like really idolize the gifts of the Spirit rather than the fruits of the Spirit. So I feel like in the past too, I've been like, God, just give me this gift. Let me speak in tongues. Let me like prophesy, whatever, and then I can be your faithful servant. And I feel like sometimes just 2 able hands, 2 able feet, being able to serve with an open heart. That's like the best gift of all.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for your time. I hope your coffee's good. How is it? Review it.
It's pretty good.
It's a little foamy,
I like it.
I feel like. Or mine is a little foamy. Is
Nothing's wrong with a little foamy.
All right.
I like it.
Working on it. We're getting better. All right, man. Thanks, dude.
I appreciate it.